you on Fascinating Frontiers, episode 90. It's June 3rd, 2026. Here's what's happening in space and science today. A meteorite has delivered the first direct evidence that a Mars-sized world once orbited the young sun before shattering in a collision. Chemical and mineral analysis shows the fragment formed inside a differentiated body, the size of Mars or the Moon, within the first few million years of the solar system. Unique isotopic ratios and textures match only a core mantle boundary. The parent world was destroyed by collision billions of years ago. Cosmic Spotlight and Cosmic Deep Dive segments explore how these surviving pieces preserve the geology of an early planetary embryo. Now, from the earliest building blocks of planets, we turn to the hardware now being assembled for humanity's return to the Moon. Critical parts fabricated in a small Utah facility are en route to Kennedy Space Center for the next Artemis mission. Their departure marks another concrete step in the lunar program's supply chain. Observers will watch how the components integrate into the larger vehicle stack in Florida. While NASA moves forward with lunar hardware, one commercial launch provider just suffered a setback at its Florida site. A static fire test produced a large fireball that damaged infrastructure at the company's Cape Canaveral pad. The incident occurred while preparing the first New Glenn vehicle for flight. Recovery timelines now hinge on the extent of required repairs. Across the Atlantic, Europe is investing in a different kind of launch enabler, reliable power for deep space missions. New facilities are strengthening the supply chain for plutonium-238, the radioisotope that powers spacecraft beyond the inner solar system. The goal is to reduce reliance on external sources for long-duration missions. Next steps include qualification testing of the new production methods. Reliable power sources matter for future lunar outposts as well. Researchers are already modeling how crews will live and work together on the Moon. Researchers are modeling task allocation, conflict resolution, and habitat layout for extended lunar stays. Findings will guide design choices for Artemis surface operations. Follow-on studies will test the models against planned missions. While planners think about living on the Moon, observers elsewhere are finding new ways to study planets that already orbit other stars. High-resolution spectroscopy of several exoplanets shows cloud and temperature patterns consistent with strong internal magnetic activity. These measurements provide the clearest indirect evidence yet of magnetic fields on worlds outside our solar system. Additional targets will test how common the phenomenon may be. Magnetic interactions also appear closer to home in a newly identified stellar binary. 20 years of observations have traced enigmatic radio signals to magnetic reconnection between a white dwarf and its red dwarf companion. The nearby system offers a laboratory for studying similar processes in more distant objects. Further monitoring will map emission changes with orbital phase. Back on Earth, a new prototype antenna has just captured its own first cosmic signal. The test dish successfully tracked and imaged Taurus A, validating the new design under real observing conditions. Data will guide final specifications for the full next-generation Very Large Array. Construction of additional antennas is expected in coming years. Amateurs are also pushing observational boundaries from unexpected locations. More than 60 hours of exposure data from a residential balcony produced a detailed view of the LEO triplet. The image highlights faint structures across the gravitationally bound galaxy group. The result shows how dedicated amateur equipment can resolve large-scale cosmic features from urban sites. While some watch the sky from balconies, others are preparing robotic arms to operate in orbit. The Fly Foundational Robots mission will carry a 7-degree of freedom arm to low Earth orbit. U.S. investigators can propose experiments once the arm reaches space. Proposals will be evaluated for scientific merit and technical readiness. Commercial launch activity continues at a steady pace alongside these research opportunities. A Falcon 9 is set to lift off from Cape Canaveral with another batch of Starlink satellites. Viewing opportunities exist along the Volusia County coastline. The mission continues the company's high launch cadence. On the other side of the Pacific, China has also debuted a partially reusable rocket. The new vehicle reached orbit on its inaugural flight without prior airspace notices. Engineers will assess booster recovery performance from this test. Future missions will determine whether routine reuse is achieved. While rockets are tested, statistical surveys are revealing surprises about black holes at galactic centers. Galaxy merger simulations predict velocity kicks that can eject merged black holes from galactic centers. A new analysis of large survey data finds spatial offsets consistent with this population. Larger samples from upcoming surveys will test the fraction of galaxies affected. Closer to home, the origin of one near-Earth asteroid is also being reconsidered. Dynamical studies suggest the asteroid's spectrum and orbit fit main belt material better than lunar ejecta. China's Tianwen-2 mission will return samples in late 2027 for a definitive test. The outcome will settle the asteroid's true provenance. Before we go, keep an eye on those Tianwen-2 sample results expected in late 2027. That's Fascinating Frontiers for today. If you enjoyed this, a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify really helps new listeners find the show. I'm Patrick in Vancouver. Thanks for exploring with me, and I'll see you next time. And before you go, this show is part of the NARA Network, a family of daily podcasts covering tech, science, markets, and more. If you enjoyed today's episode, give Models and Agents a listen, your daily briefing on AI models and agents. You can explore the whole lineup at neuranetwork.com. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.
Drifting softly